And the best new artist is Milli Vanilli.
In 1990, Milli Vanilli won Best New Artist. They were an international duo from Germany. They recorded a song called Girl You Know It's True, and it went #1 worldwide. It got the attention from Clive Davis, who signed them to Arista Record so they could record a proper album. After this, they had #1 hits like Don't Forget My Number, Blame It on the Rain, and Girl I'm Gonna Miss You. So they looked like qualifying artists to win the award. Danae Cherry, she had the song Buffalo Stance. You had Indigo Girls, they were a folk duo. Soul to Soul was a UK collective that had the song Back to Life. And Tone Loc, a hip hop artist known for the song Wild Thing and Funky Cold Medina. Soul to Soul would have been my pick for Best New Artist, but why? Well, reasons. This was the worst thing that happened to Milli Vanilli because sometime after, word got out and their manager Frank Farian outed them as lip syncers. Milli Vanilli never sang a note on their debut album. Their Grammy was stripped as a result, and this is the only time this happened in Grammy history. Questions became, who should the Grammy go to then? Should it go to the second place winner? Should it go to the actual singers? The Grammy decided that 1990 will not have a winner. So to answer this question, yes, with a capital yes, as they were the inventors of the Best New Artist curse. And today we're going to go through every Best New Artist winner since and ask the question, are they cursed? Before we begin, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. It costs free $99, it helps out the channel, and you'll have zero regrets doing it. So without further ado, on to our feature presentation.
And the Grammy goes to Mariah Carey!
In 1991, Mariah Carey won Best New Artist. She was an artist signed to Columbia under the leadership of Tommy Mottola. The year before, she released her debut album, and her first 4 singles went to #1, and those included Vision of Love, I Don't Wanna Cry, Someday, and Love Takes Time. Her debut album would go 9 times platinum. The Black Crowes, they had a song that was hard to handle. They had the Kentucky Headhunters, a southern country rock band. Lisa Stanfield had that one song that was all around the world. And Wilson Phillips, a trio who had the biggest single of 1990 in Hold On, and is responsible for one of the biggest videos on this channel. With 4 #1 singles, a high-selling debut, Mariah was the easy choice here. Absolutely not. She'll continue to release high-selling albums. She has the most #1s by a female artist, an icon, and forever became a figure in the holiday season, for better and for worse. So yeah, this is an easy no.
And the Grammy goes to man, Marc Cohn.
Marc Cohn was 1992's winner, and I know you're asking, who? If you ever heard of the song Walking in Memphis, that's him, a musician, singer-songwriter from Cleveland. And you know what? These nominees were pretty huge. First was a big one. Boyz II Men, an R&B vocal group from Philadelphia known for the hit Motown Philly and End of the Road. CC Music Factory, they made everyone sweat in 1991, for better and for worse. Color Me Bad, a multiracial R&B group known for the songs I Wanna Sex You Up, I Adore Me More, All for Love, and Seal. He released a self-titled debut album in 1991. Crazy Marc Cohn won given he was the quietest, safest name on here. But Boyz II Men was right there. They were the much superior choice over Marc Cohn. I feel bad labeling him a curse, given I know very little of him. Marc Cohn was viewed as a one-hit wonder. He never had another major single since Walking in Memphis, I would say he's cursed, but it mostly had to do with everyone else being nominated thriving much better than he did.
And the best new artist is Arrested Development.
In 1993, Arrested Development was the Best New Artist winner, and with this, they became the first hip-hop act to win the award. They won because they were in the era of conscious rap, and their album 3 Years, 5 Months, and 2 Days in a Life had a ton of themes, with the biggest song, Tennessee, being a tribute to member Speech's grandmother and brother who died on the same week. Billy Ray Cyrus, Achy Breaky Heart Billy Ray Cyrus. Sophie B. Hawkins, she had that one song, Damn I Wish I Was Your Lover. Chris Cross, known for the song Jump, and they were one of the youngest to ever be nominated for the award, and they're not one-hit wonders. And we have John Cecita, who will later be known as one of the biggest selling Latin artists of all time. Honestly, I kinda understood why Arrested Development won. They would have been my pick, better than Billy Ray Cyrus. We have another poster child of the curse. Their second album landed on Todd in the Shadow's Train Records, and by that time that record came out, the group was barely hanging on, and they got consumed by gangsta rap. Easy choice, they were cursed.
And the Grammy goes to Toni Braxton.
Toni Braxton was our winner for 1994. A LaFace recording artist, her debut album was a high seller containing hits Another Sad Love Song and Breathe Again. Some say she was a product of Babyface songwriting, but vocally, she carried her own. Belly, a rock band, and I don't have much to go off of. Blind Melon, you know the song, No Rain. Diggable Planets, another one-hit wonder, known for the song Cool Like That, but like Arrested Development, they too got lost when gangsta rap took over. And SWV, Weak was a massive single, and their album It's About Time had some bops. As much as I'm a fan of SWV, I can't oppose giving Toni Braxton this award. The best was yet to come. People don't talk about her Secrets era. You Making Me High, Let It Flow, and the big one, Unbreak My Heart, were all #1 hits. She's still racking up Grammys, with her most recent win coming in 2015, and her most recent nomination was 2019. So Toni Braxton is not cursed, a legend in R&B.
And the best new artist is? You want to say that?
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow was the Best New Artist winner for 1995. Although she had some early hiccups in getting to this position, she joined a Tuesday nightclub where all she wanted to do was have some fun, and it became a worldwide success. We have Ace of Base. Even though their debut was in 1992, they were massive in 1994, and I did a whole video about that. Counting Crows, an alternative band from San Francisco who had the album August and Everything After. Crash Test Dummies, even though they released 2 albums prior, the song went global. And we have Green Day. Their album Dookie wasn't its namesake, and it was here where everyone was introduced to Green Day. Honestly, not a bad class, all things considered, but I'm not going to complain that Sheryl Crow won. She's literally in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If that spells not cursed, I don't know what else will.
Show my...
You'd have to pay way more than you paid to get in to see my...
And the best new artist is the Hootster and the Blowfish.
Hootie and the Blowfish won Best New Artist in 1996. They're a country band led by frontman Darius Rucker, best known for the song Only Wanna Be With You, Hold My Hand, and Let Her Cry. But their album Crack Rear View was massive, one of, if not the biggest selling albums in country. You have Brandy, cousin of Snoop Dogg, started her career on television but desired to do music. She just want to be down with the whole thing. Alanis Morissette, Little Jagged Pill was the album that beat Daydream. Other than that, it was a massive breakthrough for Alanis. Joan Osborne, known for the song One of Us, and there was one more big name, Shania Twain, a Canadian country singer. Her breakthrough album, The Woman in Me, was the start of her impressive run. Overall, another strong class. Shania Twain may wind up having the biggest career, but I understood why Hootie won. I mean, their album was massive, but Shania Twain will still be my pick. They struck the iron when it was hot, but it cooled down after this. Their second album followed the same sounds as Crack Rear View, and it wasn't successful, but it still sold well. Darius Rucker would go solo, and you have a solid career as a soloist, but overall, the group is cursed. But at least they got a charting single in 2025. But let's be real, that came with an asterisk, as the only reason they got credited was it was a sample. But getting off topic, let's move on to 1997.
And the best new artist is LeAnn Rimes.
In 1997, the winner was LeAnn Rimes, and with this she became the youngest Best New Artist winner at 14. While she released albums in the past, 1996 was her breakout year, thanks to the song Blue, and she had other major songs in the Nashville scene. We have Garbage, a rock band whose music doesn't match its name, Jewel, a folk artist who had the song Who Will Save Your Soul. No Doubt, they had their breakout year in 1996 with Just a Girl, and the Tony Rich Project, a one-hit wonder who had the song Nobody Knows. This is a tricky one, because while LeAnn Rimes was good, Jewel's Who Will Save Your Soul was inescapable at the time, and normally the Grammy isn't fond of kid acts, so that's why I'll say Jewel would have been my pick. To be honest with you, the best was yet to come for LeAnn Rimes. The next year she released the big single, How Do I Live. She would consistently put out albums and churn out more hits in the country scene and having some success in the pop world. Despite some hiccups, LeAnn Rimes is not cursed.
Now the best new artist is Paula Cole.
All right.
In 1998, Paula Cole won Best New Artist, and I know what you're thinking. Who is Paula Cole? She was the Dawson Creek singer. She had the song I Don't Wanna Wait and Where All the Cowboys Gone. She was heavily nominated in 1998, which included her breakthrough album being nominated for Album of the Year. This class was stacked. Starting off with Fiona Apple, it was criminal to not see her win, but I could have sworn she had more hits. Erykah Badu was part of the rise of the neo-soul movement. I could go on and on about her impact to the genre. Hanson Brothers, Mbop was literally inescapable in 1997, and it helped usher in the American crossover of teen pop bubblegum pop. And shout out to Zach, as at the age of 12, he became the youngest nominated for said award. And one more, Puff Daddy, the guy who's
All in the video.
okay, I get it. But outside of his other activities, No Way Out was his solo debut, and Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, and especially All About the Benjamins, were labeled as hip-hop anthems. And not to mention I'll Be Missing You was massive in 1997. Paula Cole was the typical safe pick, but come on, Erykah Badu was right there. Paula Cole released one more album before disappearing until 2007, but 97-98 was her peak. But yeah, she's cursed, but at least she's doing well in other ventures.
And the best new artist is, if I can get it open, Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill was the Best New Artist winner for 1999, and this added on to her big night as she won Album of the Year for her Miseducation album, an album many people claim as the greatest piece of work ever made. she did break away from the Fugees, and her nominations were carried from that Miseducation album. We have Andrea Bocelli, an Italian opera singer, and I don't have much else to say after that. The Chicks, formerly Dixie, sure, their debut album was in 1990, but it wasn't until 1998 when Wide Open Spaces took over, as that served as their major label debut. Natalie Imbruglia, an Australian singer who had that one single, Torn, which went global. And then we have the Backstreet Boys. They had an odd start with their debut album originally coming out in 1996, but that was released internationally. But the next year, the same debut was reshaped, retooled in 1997, and that was the start of Backstreet Boy Mania. Everything they did that year sold, not to mention that US debut went 14 times platinum. Even though I'm a huge Backstreet Boys fan, when compared to the Miseducation project, it's hard to contest. This will wind up being her only album. Sure, she had an Unplugged, but that also landed on Tide of the Shadows, Train Records. Then she disappeared, dealt with mental issues, and will only perform here and there. Can we get her on Tiny Desk, please? But as a whole, she's another poster child of the curse. Goes to show you that freedom isn't free.
And the best new artist is...
Come on.
Christina Aguilera.
The new millennium saw Christina Aguilera win the award. She was a pop singer who got her start on the Mickey Mouse Club, but once that show ended, she decided to branch out a full-time music career. In 1999, she released her debut album, and it had hits like Genie in a Bottle, What a Girl Wants, Come On Over, and I Turn to You. And she was someone who had a big voice. You had Macy Gray, who tried her best to get the win. Kid Rock, despite many album releases throughout the 90s, he broke through with his album Devil Without a Cause. Susa Tedeschi, a blues artist who I don't know much about, but Christina Aguilera's most notable competition was Britney Spears. She had a high-selling debut with Baby One More Time, and they were pretty much in competition throughout 1999 in the teen pop era of music. While Britney Spears was inescapable, the Grammy got this one right, as Christina Aguilera is the better vocalist. Someone recently did a video on why Christina Aguilera had the voice but not the sound for her music. But Christina still won Grammys after this. Her next two albums, Stripped and Back to the Basics, are critical darlings. This one is a clear no.
And the Grammy for Best New Artist this year goes to Shelby Lynne.
Shelby Lynne won the award in 2001, but there was some shenanigans because during her speech she said it took her 13 years and 6 albums to get here. That's not spell Best New Artist to me. The reason was a shift. She started off in country in 1988, but Nashville politics got in the way in the 90s, and when the late 90s hit, she shifted to pop rock, and I Am Shelby Lynne album was an example of that shift. Brad Paisley, a country singer who broke out thanks to He Didn't Have to Be, Papa Roach, rock band known for the banger Last Resort, and that helped their album Infest to multi-platinum status. Sisqó, the lead singer of Dru Hill, decided to break solo and dropped 2 summer jams with Incomplete and Thong Song, and those songs helped propel his solo debut to multi-platinum status. And Jill Scott, an R&B artist who mostly made waves in the contemporary department, and her debut album went double platinum. Even though the names are notable, this wasn't the strongest class otherwise. I know the Grammys would change their new artist rules in the next decade, but Shelby Lynne would not be my first choice. If they wanted to play it safe, why not give it to Jill Scott? At least her album was a debut. This is a tough one. One would say she's cursed because she never got nominated again. Best New Artist, in fact, is her only nomination to date. But if you understand her early country career and what she had to overcome, she's satisfied in her lane. Although contemporary became her shtick even to this very day, but at the same time, there were better options for the win. So I'm gonna classify her as cursed, but I don't think she nor the Shelby Lynne stans would care. Let's move on.
And the best new artist is Alicia Keys.
2002, Alicia Keys was this year's Best New Artist winner. Keys dropped her debut album, Songs in A Minor. I apologize for that. But she spawned 3 huge singles, the biggest being her debut single, Fallen, which was one of the biggest songs of 2001. India Arie, another R&B singer who had the debut single in video. Problem was, she went up against Alicia Keys. Nelly Furtado started her career with the song I'm Like a Bird. David Gray, a UK singer, I don't know much about him. And a rock alternative band we all know and love in Linkin Park. Tough beating an artist who let her win Song of the Year that same night, so the Grammy easily got this one right. I mean, come on. She had a run in the 2000s. She still won Grammys. Hell, she hosted the show twice, and her influence is felt to this very day. Easily not cursed.
But the best new artist era, Miss Norah Jones.
In 2003, Norah Jones won Best New Artist, a soft pop artist. Her debut album, Come Away With Me, was massive. Her album will be certified diamond by Decade's End, and I don't know why. We have Ashanti. Her debut was long in coming. She spent years prior working in collabs, and 2002 was her year, with Foolish being one of the biggest singles of 2002, as her debut album went triple platinum. Michelle Branch, her album Spirit Room went double platinum. Avril Lavigne, she didn't make her case too complicated. And John Mayer, a soft rock artist that built a room made of squares. Ashanti or Avril Lavigne might have been the popular choice, but Norah Jones' debut quietly outsold both Avril and Ashanti's combined. Norah was a big deal in 2002, and again, I don't know why. I guess she was the safe choice. This is a similar case with Shelby Lynne, where she's big in her lane but not in the mainstream. But I think it worked out better for Norah Jones. She still racked up awards, with her most recent Grammy win coming last year. Not to mention she's a contributor for holiday music. So yeah, Norah Jones is not cursed.
The best new artist is Evanescence.
In 2004, Evanescence won Best New Artist. From Arkansas of all places, they broke out due to the songs Bring Me to Life and My Immortal. Like Norah Jones, their debut album Fallen went diamond. We have Fountains of Wayne. The name may not sound familiar, but they had that one hit, Stacy's Mom, and She's Got It Going On. Heather Hadley, an R&B adult artist, she had that song I Wish I Wasn't, but later be known for her stage career. Sean Paul, he was a product of dancehall that crossed over to the urban crowd, and Get Busy was a massive worldwide smash. And there was one more, 50 Cent, a rapper from Queens who made an album about how he survived getting shot 9 times, and he became the bully of rap in just his quote-unquote debut year. Grammys were still not ready to embrace gangster rap, but 50 would still be my choice for the spot. Sure, Fallen outsold Get Rich for now, but 50 was a phenomenon. He was everywhere in 2003. In the Club and 21 Questions were #1 hits. He had the streets and the mainstream audience in the palm of his hands. No wonder he was, and still is, salty about this. This group was barely hanging on even before their win. One of their main members, Ben Moody, left the group after a disagreement over management. Amy Lee became the face of the group, and this ended up members leaving as well. But Amy Lee was the face of Evanescence, so the band soldiered on. They released their second album in 2006, which did well, but it wasn't the same as their debut. Lineup changes will still take place to this very day, but they're still putting out albums and seeing nominations but what could have been had they not self-destruct. So yeah, they are cursed, according to 50 Cent.
The best new artist, they gave that Evanescence. Can you find Evanescence? Mike, I ain't seen the Evanescence since that night, Mike. Since the night they gave him the trophy.
And the Grammy goes to Maroon 5.
Maroon 5 was 2005's Best New Artist winner. They released an album, Songs About Jane, in 2002. However, it was re-released the next year, and that's when songs like This Love and She Will Be Loved became massive singles in 2004. They have Los Lonely Boys. Name doesn't sound familiar, but once you hear that opening guitar line on Heaven, you'll be familiar. Joss Stone, an English artist that I don't have much to go off of. Gretchen Wilson, the Redneck Woman, a country artist, and with a debut single like that, yikes. But there's gotta be someone I know. Someone who's safe, someone who's decent. That's not what I meant. But to be fair, College Dropout was one of the most important albums of 2004, and it was the start of a great 3-album run by Kanye. He took over when the southern rap scene was emerging, and I'm just gonna leave this here because y'all know how I feel about Kanye West now. Let's be real, the Best New Artist category was a 2-person race, and as obnoxious as he might be, Kanye West would have been the proper winner. I'm gonna go wash my mouth out with soap after saying that. This is a case where I could hear it from both sides. Maroon 5 still churned out hits even to this very day. So where does the curse debate comes from? Simple. When they sold out and started making soccer mom music and their quality dipped big time. But I'm basing this on their near 2-decade run. They're not cursed, but quality rise, they were. But they're not cursed overall, so let's move on.
And the Grammy goes to, it goes to John Legend. Yeah.
In 2006, John Legend was the winner. He was behind the scenes as early as 1999 when he worked with Lauryn Hill, but in 2005 he broke out on his own when he released his breakthrough album Get Lifted, and that album had the song Ordinary People. To be honest with you, this class was all over the place. Sierra, the Princess of Crunk and B, Goodies was a solid debut album anchored by the title track and 1-2 Step. Fall Out Boy, could have sworn they debuted earlier, but 2005 was their breakthrough year, as Under the Cork Tree had 2 major singles in Sugar We're Going Down and Dance Dance, and that pushed emo rock into the mainstream. Keane, an unfamiliar UK band, don't have much to go off of, just like Sugarland, who are a country duo. Yeah, not the greatest class, but John Legend's debut album is pretty good at the time. Perfect male counterpart to what Alicia Keys was bringing at the time. I guess his win makes sense. And this is another case where I can hear it from both sides, because John Legend started making soccer mom music as well, but he's an EGOT, and his most recent Grammy win came last year. His mainstream career might have died down, but he has enough quality and still have some relevance, so he's not cursed.
And the Grammy for the Best New Artist goes to, this is great, Carrie Underwood.
In 2007, Carrie Underwood was our Best New Artist winner, and she became the first, and so far only, American Idol winner to win the award. Her Idol win led to a highly anticipated debut album, which set the record for highest seller debut country album by a female artist. Jesus Take the Wheel, Before He Cheats, Wasted, and Don't Forget to Remember Me was massive in 2006. And this is not a bad class unless you start off with James Blunt, known for the song You're Beautiful. Chris Brown, before his downfall as a human being, he was a teenage singer, positive role model for the youth, with songs like Run It and Yo Excuse Me Miss. Imogen Heap, it's kind of sad that I only know them for the song Headlock, a song that went viral 20 years after its release. And Corinne Bailey Rae, another UK artist known for putting your records on. Shame her song was ruined by Rick Momney. Chris Brown was the biggest name I recognized, but looking at Carrie Underwood's debut era, I understood why she took the award. She spent the next decade being the go-to female country artist, awards after awards, record sales on top of record sales. She might be the second most, if not most successful, American Idol winner of all time. Sure, her political beliefs came into question in recent years, how decorative her career had been, so easily not cursed. I still have 16 more best new artists to talk about, so you know what? I'm gonna make this the end of part 1. Join me in part 2 where best new artists gets expanded, women take over, and we get one of the biggest controversies involving this category. So stay tuned for that.